and welcome to the Healing Word of the Week podcast with me, Marissa of Marissa Moments, where you might get triggered into seeing your own reflection, but it's to reconnect you to yourself and awaken the divinity within. So prepare for laughs, resonance, and accountability through true stories, channeled messages, prophetic words, and everything in between. So I hope you're ready because guess what? Here we go. Okay, so can we talk about fear real quick? Fear, F-E-A-R, fear. So Spirit put this word on my heart. Of course, we all, well, you may or may not know, I'm about to tell you. Fear sometimes is referred to forget everything and run in terms of acronyms, or false evidence appearing real, right? Now, the reason I'm discussing fear right now is because fear has played a huge role in my entire existence. Now, I was inspired to do this podcast today because I went to church. Yes, I do go to church. I don't necessarily subscribe to any singular religious practice or background or anything like that, but I go where I am inspired, right? Where the word actually motivates me, uplifts me, and the energy feels real and authentic. So I don't care what the religious background is. If it feels authentic, if the word touches my heart, then I'm probably going to be there, right? So with that disclaimer aside, so I went to church and I found myself sharing a very similar story with multiple people. And each time I said, I do a lot of things and a lot of people assume that I am so brave. Oh my goodness, you're just always full steam ahead, all those types of things. But what I said is I'm kind of like the Hulk, right? The Hulk is like, my secret is I'm always angry. Well, for me, my secret is I'm always afraid. I do things despite that fear. Right? Because in my past, I've allowed it to be false evidence appearing real. And then you know what I do? I forget everything and run. So it's been a combo for me. And fear has ruled my existence in terms of anxiety, depression, angst, all of these different things. They have been the end all be all to my existence. But you want to know what happened? Is I started to tune into my faith, right? Because here's the thing, God, Gaia, ancestors, angels, and saints, whoever you believe in, it's your walk in it, right? But for me, God has been the one giving me all of these downloads and whispering these notions to me, right? To say, Marissa, do this, Marissa, do that, right? So now I kind of picked up the habit of saying, you know what? If I think it, I'm going to do it. And the reason I say that is because so many times I've been disobedient to the word that's been given to me by my father. And then I end up suffering in the long run, right? And it could be something simple to something grand, right? Maybe I don't take out the garbage or I don't clean the kitchen as I feel instructed to do so because I'm tired, right? I don't want to have to do these dishes. I don't want to have to take out the trash. I don't want to have to do these things. But then guess what? Something ends up coming up where it prevents me from doing the work that I thought I was going to be able to do out of that fit of procrastination. And now I have double the work, or triple, or quadruple, or whatever it is. And now I'm putting myself in a space and place of overwhelm when if I would have been obedient in the first half, then I would never get to that space of stress, overwhelm, depression, and all of the different spirals that it can take, right? But here's the thing, right? Because I know you're like, okay, you're here to talk about fear. We're here to listen about fear. What we have to do is allow our faith to supersede our fear, right? You don't have to do anything as a disclaimer. It's completely up to you, free will and all. But what I've been led to discover within myself is when I operate despite that fear, that aching fear that tells me you're incapable, right? Now, I'm not talking about danger, right? That's a completely different thing. Ask Will Smith in the movie, right? Danger is real. Fear is not. Right? Sometimes fear is just based off of our own mind playing tricks on us. Sometimes the enemy is trying to whisper us out of our actual blessings. Right? Now, I've mentioned the Give and Receive, this project that I've worked on, and it's actually something that's been in the making for years. It's been in my heart for years, but every single time I wanted to take a step forward with it, I convinced myself that I was incapable. right? I convinced myself that I didn't know the right people. I wasn't in the right place. I didn't have the right amount of money or whatever it is. And then as soon as I decided to take action behind this notion that was put on my heart from the heavens above, I began to see success. I began to see that ball not only start rolling, but I mean, it just went. Right? Within a single week, I had 5 events planned. Now, I'm not saying that everything's going to be a raving success. I'm not saying that everything is going to become fruitful in that instant. But when we get into a space of obedience despite our fears, then that is showing God, Gaia, ancestors, angels, and saints that we are capable of much more. That we are in a place of understanding. Oh, Lord, what are words? Understanding and alignment. I'm trying to combine the 2 words, alignment and understanding. That means understandment, right? Anyway, let's focus. So that indicates to God that we are capable of handling more. That indicates to God that when we are, the other saying that I keep saying today is, with great power comes great responsibility. Shout out to Spider-Man, right? And the reason why sometimes we don't receive the blessings that we are craving in our hearts is because we're allowing our fears to supersede our actions. We're allowing that fear to dictate our today and henceforth dictate our tomorrow, right? We have to get out of our own way. Yes, you might feel fearful. Yes, you might feel self-doubt. And let's change that might to you will. Right? You will definitely feel self-doubt. If not all the times, you will at certain moments, right? We all have that, what's it called? That imposter syndrome at certain moments. Feeling, how did I even get here? Well, that's just the whispers of the enemy trying to prevent us from walking into our truest blessings, preventing us from becoming our truest, highest self in the way that God already sees us, right? And then we prevent ourselves from ascending and being able to find those moments of clarity and to allow the actual stars to line up. Those dots, those experiences, our woes, our pain, turn our pain into purpose. If we are led by fear, if you allow your fear to lead you consistently, then your pain will not have purpose. It will just be pain. Let me tell you that from experience. If you allow your fear to dictate your todays and your tomorrows, then you will forever be trapped in doing a dance with the devil, right? Let's not even say the enemy, right? Beelzebub himself, right? Because then he will take the lead of that proverbial dance and you will forever be wondering which step you're going to take next. Versus allowing your faith to supersede that fear, allowing your faith to overwrite that fear and doing the things anyway. That way you can make space for that blessing. That way you can make space for that lesson. That way you can make space for that ascension. But I'm going on and on. But hopefully you are picking up what I'm putting down because yes, in fact, this message is for you. Stop allowing your fear to run and rule your life. Even though, yes, people of your past, people that have had a major role in your life have fed you fear your entire life. Anytime that maybe you've had a win, anytime that you've had an idea that came from source, from God, from Gaia, it was always put down. You were always fed seeds of doubt. You were always fed the notions that who are you to think you're capable of much more than where you're at? That was them feeding you their own personal fears, and you weren't able to see the difference, so you swallowed them down and made them your own. Well, I'm here to tell you that we are beyond that time, right? Do things despite that fear. And then eventually that fear will cower at the sight of you. Eventually, the things that you once cowered at, the things that once made your voice tremble, the things that made you once think, I could never, will be so far in your rear view mirror, you'll not even be able to make them out anymore. You will have to turn around and take an intentional look back to see when you felt you were incapable of walking into certain rooms, when you felt like you were incapable of having certain conversations, when you felt you were incapable of rising to certain occasions, when you felt you were incapable of bringing that manifestation, that dream to fruition. That is what we're working on. Fear is a thing of the past, and even if it is a thing of the present, let your faith override it. I'm not going to keep going on and on, I promise, but I know that you're getting this message. And not only receive this message, don't just hear it to hear it. Don't just even hear it to talk about it to somebody else. Hear it to apply it. Hear it to put in the work. Hear it to actually put actions behind your faith. Because dreams without actions are nothing. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I always look forward to sharing these messages with you because I hope that you're feeling fulfilled from these messages. I hope that you're able to see yourself. I hope that you're able to have a reflective moment and then take this good word and apply it to your life and maybe even share it with others. Because anytime something resonates, it might not just even resonate for you, but it may resonate for a friend or a family member, a coworker, or whomever it is. So share it. You know the saying, sharing is caring. So let's no longer gatekeep our own personal healing and our own personal testimony. And let's not be afraid. Let's not let that fear prevent us from sharing. So that's it for this week. As always, make sure that you're following me on all social media. I'm everywhere. But when you look me up, just remember it is Marissa Moments, and that is Marissa with one S, because as I always like to say, there's only one me. So until next time, have the best day ever. And I wish you the happiest of happy healings. Bye-bye.